At first glance, the command line interface may look pretty scary or archaic, like a hacker movie from the 1980s. Despite this image, the command line is the easiest, quickest, and sometimes the only way of bending the computer to our will. Using the command line is one of the fundamental skills of working with computers. Don't be afraid, the command line doesn't need to be scary. You don't need to be an expert and know all the esoteric commands. I like to say that I know just enough bash to be dangerous. We need enough Linux to accomplish a few basic tasks. Mainly, we will want to navigate files and directories, manage permissions, and install different software libraries. A little goes a long way. So, let's get started. Hi, I'm Eric, and this is Coding for Docs. The command line gives you direct access to the computer's operating system. You can perform many actions quickly, some which would be harder or even impossible using a mouse-driven interface. As an example, if you want to use the PyDICOM Python library to work with DICOM medical images, let's compare these two methods. First, the more familiar point-and-click GUI. In your web browser, go to https://pypy.org, search for PyDICOM, click on PyDICOM, click on Download. Now try to figure out how to install this, quit, and never open the computer again. Or, using the CLI, pip install PyDICOM. Done. It's easy to get intimidated by the mysterious vertical cursor. What am I supposed to do now? Most of us interact with the computer using a graphical user interface, a GUI, like Windows or Mac OS. The command line, CLI, seems like a throwback to a techno-archaic time of mainframes, dial-up modems, and dumb terminals. Both Windows and Macs come with a program to access the command line. In Windows, you can just type Command at the Start menu. On the Mac, just type Terminal in Spotlight. You can also find the program at Finder, Applications, Utilities, Terminal. If you're using Linux, well, I'm sure I don't need to tell you how to get to the terminal. We will be using the terminal on a Mac for the rest of this video since, under the hood, the Mac OS is a Unix-based operating system. The main difference in the operating systems for our purposes is that the Windows file structure uses the backslash, whereas Mac and Linux use the / as a file path separator. The vast majority of web servers use different flavors of the Linux operating system. You see this reflected in the / in web URLs. Finnish software developer Linus Torvald released Linux in 1991 based on Bell Labs' Unix operating system. Unix was developed by Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie and others, starting in 1969 for mainframe computers. The Mac's OS is based on Unix, so the basics are the same. Windows descends from a different ancestor. If you are on Windows, you can't run Linux directly on the command line. You use the WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux. I'll put up a PDF in the description on how to download and install this. These CLI interfaces are terminal emulators, software that is adapted from the hardware terminals in the early days of computers. There are other terminal applications besides Command and Terminal, such as iTerm and Warp for the Mac, and Git Bash for Windows, which offer customization and other features. Recently, I've switched to Warp, so in some of the videos you'll see the generic built-in terminal, and in others, Warp, or the command line interfaces built into other text editing programs such as Jupyter Notebooks, Google Colab, and VS Code. You communicate with the computer using a shell program. The most common is Bash, and the newer kid on the block, Zish. So, you type your Linux commands into your shell on your terminal application. If you like, you can open your terminal and follow along. I often play a video tutorial on my iPad while I run the code on my laptop. All of the following commands are also in the free GitHub link listed in this video's description. Here you see the username and computer name the current directory, and a prompt character and the cursor. These are customizable and can also be used to show other information like the time, Python environment, and source control status. More about that stuff another time. So let's get comfortable with a few instructions. First of all, where are we? We can find out which directory we're working in by typing pwd, which stands for print working directory, and then return. You should see the current directory. Linux is case sensitive, as are many other computer languages such as Python, which we get into in other videos. So coding for docs is not the same as coding for docs. And I'm going to show the Finder window from the usual graphical interface on one side and the command line on the other, so you can see what our Linux commands are actually implementing in the operating system. You list files in your current directory with the command ls. You often follow commands by adding a flag, which is a hyphen followed by one or more letters. You can see more information about a directory by adding a -l flag, ls-l. Here you have the file permissions, users, group, file size, time and date created, and the file or directory name. Show hidden files, more about these another time, by adding the -a flag. You can use multiple tags at the same time. Example, ls-la. You create a new directory with the make directory command, mkdir. An example is mkdir dataset. We change directories with the cd command, cd, and then the directory path. For example, cd dataset. One of the time-saving features of the command line is we can perform multiple operations at once. When we're creating a machine learning project, we need to split our data into a training set, a validation set, and a test set. Here we're going to create all three new directories in our dataset directory at once. mkdir, train, val, test. Let's type ls to see that these were created. Instead of typing out an entire file or directory name, we can start typing and then hit the tab key to complete the name. Example, cd v tab gets us to the validation directory. To go to your home directory, cd tilde, or just type cd. To get the last folder you were in, type cd hyphen. To go up to navigate one level, cd ... Again, to show the current working directory, pwd. The up arrow retypes the last command. You can travel back to previous commands by pressing the up arrow again until you get to the desired command. You can create a file with the command touch. Example, touch patient_data.txt. You can even create multiple files at once. Let's say we want to create a separate file for each of our patients. I'll create 5 files at once by typing touch patient_1.5 ... Linux comes with a lightweight text editor, Nano, that can be used to modify a file without leaving the terminal environment. Here we're going to type nano patient_data.txt. We can use this as a lightweight text editor. To save the file, use the writeout command with Ctrl-O and then pressing return or enter to accept the file name. Then exit the Nano editor with the exit command by typing Ctrl-X. You delete a file by removing it with the rm command and then the file name. For example, rm patientdata.txt. Now the screen is starting to get a little confusing, so To clear the window, you can just type clear. In later videos, we will use the command line for the source control system Git and the online hosting service GitHub, and to access remote servers, aka the cloud. We also use the CLI to set up our Python environments and to download the many useful Python helper libraries of the scientific stack like pandas and NumPy. I hope this isn't all too much at once. All the commands shown in this video are listed in a free GitHub link in the description. Thank you for watching, and be kind to yourself and to others.